Good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a pleasure to be with you. It's a beautiful Friday morning, January 24th, 2025. We get together most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. So, as shared on the screen here in the background is the landing page. Every one of you should have a landing page now. The landing pages are more than just a landing page. It's uniquely linked to you. And then as your prospects come in, what will happen is they'll go into a drip marketing campaign because we know the general rule of marketing is it takes 5 to 7 touches to get the average consumer to make a purchasing decision. That drip campaign will go to them via text, and that will include an automatic link to your contract. So this takes all the work off of your shoulders. All you need to do is generate leads, drive them to your landing page. So first of all, just want to make sure everyone has their landing page. If not, get with Madison, and I'll give you Madison's contact coordinates here in a few minutes. That's not today's topic. Today's topic, though, is how to deal with unique client funding requests. It's kind of interesting. I'll talk to a number of you, and for your prospects, you'll gather like their life story and all understand all their future aspirations. I think you're making it too complicated. So we're going to go through that here in just a moment. We're going to, of course, answer your questions, which you'll just type into the Q&A of Zoom as usual. And then what's our goal? To leave today and go apply this knowledge and go make money. With the rollout we had yesterday of the override commissions. Now, we're not MLM, we're not network marketing, but we rolled out yesterday override commissions. And if you didn't see yesterday's training, you definitely want to view it, and I'll kind of recap it here at the end of today. Huge deal. You don't need to be a salesperson. You don't need to sell anything to anyone. Just build a team, let them go do the sales, and you get a match, the same that they get, you get. They get 5,000 up front, you get 5,000 up front. They get 5 points of the client's capital raise, you get 5 points. But we'll come back to that in a moment. Let's focus on today's topic, which is how to deal with unique client funding requests. And I'll put that in perspective as we progress here. So I think we need to start with a clear understanding of what are we, you and I, what are we delivering with the Shelf Corp? Because if we don't understand that, then this really doesn't apply. So let's start with the what we call the Fundable Shelf Corp concept. So it starts with the whole buy versus build. And you and I learned this back in business school. Business owners throughout their career, they have to make decisions. Do I want to buy or do I want to build something? So what we're offering, what you and I are offering, is for them to buy a fundable shelf corp that's ready to go to funding instead of building one from scratch, because it's faster, it's easier, it's typically more successful. So that's the proposition in a nutshell. Is they buy a fundable shelf corp from you, it's ready to go to funding in a week. So that's a true statement. Just want to make sure we're on the same page with that. Now, with that, there are a number of benefits of the Shelf Corp, which I'm not going through today. If you're not familiar with that, you can go back to our YouTube channel and see that. You can look at your flyer, you can look at the training videos. But regardless, there's a bunch of good things that a client gets by buying a Shelf Corp from you. What's one of the biggest? They get 100,000 transferred to them. Uh-oh, we went crazy there, didn't we? They get 100,000 transferred to them within 24 hours. So that AR transfer is almost immediate, and then we can start liquidating that AR and turn it into cash. And in addition to that, so there's the word and, the conjunction and then they'll have the full Shelf Corp to them in a week so we can go to funding. So I think some of you are overlooking how great of a deal this is for the client. They're getting the 100,000 in AR, which we can liquidate to cash, plus, or here, and they're also getting the qualifications for a loan. So really they're getting 200,000 instead of 100,000, if that makes sense. So that's what we get to here is trying to make sure that we all understand that the client, when they buy the Shelf Corp from you, they're getting a business that's ready for 100,000 in funding. Plus, they're also getting the AR. Now, why is it constructed that way? Well, we know collateral is important, right? There's 3 C's. One of the 3 C's is collateral. A lot of small business owners don't have collateral. Therefore, we build it in automatically. And one of the beautiful things about the collateral that we build in is we can liquidate it and turn it into cash. So hopefully that all makes sense. Does anyone have questions about kind of the base proposition, the concept itself? Because where our topic comes in today is precisely this. The Fundable Shelf Corp is set up and ready for 100,000 in funding. But guess what? You're going to run into some clients that say, no, I don't want 100,000. I want 200,000 or 500,000 or $1 million. It doesn't matter what other dollar amount, but if it's any dollar amount greater than 100,000, then we're going to call that a unique request. Because understand, when clients get a Shelf Corp, they're getting a legal and ethical package. So everything is built and ready to go. The business plan, ready to go. The financial projections, ready to go. The collateral, as we talked about, is ready to go. It's set up to go for 100,000. But I know, and you probably know, a lot of clients want more than 100,000. So we needed to talk today about how to handle that. The most important point is, as we go into this next conversation element, is the Shelf Corp always comes at 100,000. It's always built for 100,000. We can modify to go for more, but the Shelf Corps come at 100,000. So we need to be clear that's the core deliverable. So let's go on and talk about what happens when they want more money, which is fine. It's not a problem. It's just I want to make sure we're all on the same page of how to deal with that, how to handle that. Okay, so if the client comes to us and wants more than 100,000, this is what I would recommend that we do. So step one is let's deliver. Oh, not delivery. Let's deliver the Shelf Corp as promised. So let's get them what we promised to do. So that way we can check the box. Yep, we did what we promised. They got what they bought. Everyone's on the same page. And then as a second step, then we'll go ahead and then we'll make the necessary edits to qualify for the larger capital raise. Because there's 2 scenarios, right? So let's just say the client wants $1 million, just for a nice round number. So they buy a Shelf Corp. Is the Shelf Corp ready to go for funding for $1 million? No, it's not. It's set up for 100,000. Does that mean we can't help people that want $1 million? No, we can definitely help them. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to deliver the Shelf Corp as it's prepackaged. And then from there, we can make the edits. Let's use a real estate analogy. So let's say that you were selling a 4-bedroom house with 2-car garage and it has carpeted floors. So your client says, great, that's the start of what I want, but I really wanted hardwood floors. I didn't really want carpet. Fine. Buy the house and then we can do the remodeling that you need to match your criteria. So we're going to deliver the Shelf Corp as promised because that's how it's designed. And then we can absolutely work with them to make the edits for a larger capital raise. So it's going to be 2 steps, right? because the Shelf Corp wasn't designed for $1 million. It was designed for 100,000. Simple concept, but I just want us all to have the same delivery. So if a client comes to you and says, hey, Charles, I'm looking to raise $1 million, then Charles is probably going to ask the client, oh, okay, great. Do you have a fundable business? Hardly ever do they. Not a problem. Charles, with no upfront cost, is able to get the client in. We deliver the Shelf Corp. We're going to get them 100,000 in 24 hours. We're going to get them the rest of the documentation for the Shelf Corp in a week. And then we start step number 2. Some of you have thought that we would change the Shelf Corp before delivery, and that's not the case. The Shelf Corp is going to come as the Shelf Corp, and then we're absolutely happy, pleased as punch. Because the bigger the capital raise, the more money you make, right? If they want $1 million, we don't want to hold them back, but the Shelf Corp is set up for 100,000, then we make the edits. Not a very complicated topic, but I just wanted to make sure. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Does that make sense to everyone? So we want to set proper expectations. Someone says, I want $1 million. Is the Shelf Corp still the right process? Absolutely. Turnkey, ready to go, fast, great value, no upfront cost. But let them know. We're going to deliver the Shelf Corp that's ready for 100,000 in a week, and then we'll work with you to make the edits. So what edits would need to be made? Well, think about it. A lot of things, right? So if they want $1 million, for example, instead of 100,000, the business plan needs to be edited. Not a big deal. The financial projections need to be changed. Not a big deal. Just all the little tweaks need to be made. It's not a problem. It's not an inconvenience even. But we're going to deliver that Shelf Corp as promised. And what I'd really like to do is deliver the Shelf Corp and get them the 100,000 right away, and then do a second capital raise for the rest. But you'll have some clients that say, no, I don't want 100,000. I only want my $1 million. Okay, then we're still going to deliver the Shelf Corp. We'll still make the edits, but instead of getting the 100,000 right away, they're waiting for everything for the larger capital raise. Now, the question you might get is, okay, well, if we can deliver the Shelf Corp ready to go for funding for 100,000 in a week, how long is it going to take for a larger capital raise? There is no set answer, because we're going to have to work with the client and figure out how much do they want, what are they going to use it for, what are their qualifications. So can we help them with this? Absolutely. But we can't give them the same certainty of timelines as we can the first 100,000. So my preference would be, let's go enroll clients, get them the Shelf Corp, get them the 100,000 right away, and then go after more money as a second step if they wish. But that way, we've all delivered what we've promised. Make sense? All right, if you have any questions on that, feel free to type it in. We're going to go over to revisit our conversation from yesterday now, just because I think it's so important, and I hinted towards it at the beginning of our call today. So we rolled out yesterday overrides, and this is based upon the request of a number of you. I think it's Joseph and Joss. I don't remember all the names. My recall's not that great, DeAndre, but a number of you said, hey, we need to have an override system, because a lot of you aren't necessarily very good at sales, but you know people that are rock stars at sales. So you need a way, an incentive to bring them in so they can be, you can use whatever term you want, on your team, whatever. But the bottom line is you earn overrides from them. So now we have that in place. So the concept with this approach is you don't need to sell. You can be the CEO of your business. We can work with you to build a sales organization. I've talked to many of you, and some of you are great at sales, but some of you just are not in your natural environment selling. And so that's okay. So you can still make money from this. You can be the CEO of your business, because there are people that are very motivated to make sales. People that have a background in insurance sales or financial services. There's a lot of people that have done MLM, network marketing, that they're really motivated. They understand how to prospect. So it's okay if you're not an expert salesperson, you don't even need to be one. You can just run your business. We can build a team of people that are wired, that are motivated, that are diligent in doing sales. You get paid and they get paid. The way that we set that up is through the reseller management program, which we've talked about. We've had a couple trainings on. So here's what we've learned that our top producers do or have. They have a landing page with automation. So we'll provide that for you. You can do it on your own, but we'll provide it for you. We'll provide the contract that's already set up between you and them for e-signature, because some of you have not been able to figure out how to get clients under contract. And then, of course, providing access to the leads. The way the comp model works is you're not giving up anything. So whomever is bringing the client in makes the $5,000 up front, which is not get rich quick, but it's fair. And remember, the client has no out-of-pocket cost. So whoever brings the client in makes the $5,000 up front plus 5 points of the capital raise. So that's great. No change there. But we've essentially added an override level. So you're rewarded the same amount. It's a commission match. You're also getting 5,000 up front, and you're also getting 5 points. I had a call late yesterday, actually as I was leaving the office, with a woman that has owned a network marketing company. Again, we're not network marketing, but she's very sophisticated. And she said it's the best comp model she's ever seen. She feels comfortable, confident that she'll be able to build a team of hundreds, if not thousands of reps, because I don't think anyone has access to this rich of a comp model. This is good, but when you can earn an override equal to the same, it's crazy good. All right, so resources at the bottom of the page. QuickCash, if you need that, that's on 509 Pacific. If you're not a reseller, but you want to become a reseller, just email us. There's no cost to be a reseller, but there is a cost for the package because we have to pay people to develop all of that. And we love you, but we can't lose money on each of you. So you can become a reseller for $0. No contract to sign, no fees to pay now or later. If you want the reseller marketing package, there is a cost, because there's a cost for us to provide it, to develop the landing page with automation. And again, that automation is going to have 5 touches via text over time, where it's continuously reaching out to the prospect, encouraging them to sign up over and over a period of days. It'll include the contract and so forth. So if you're not a reseller, you can become a reseller. If you need to talk to someone, like Michael's asking for help, call Madison. Madison is the best person to reach. She's at her desk most of the day. She has the greatest availability, and if she can't help you, she'll get help from someone else on the team. If you're new to our calls, welcome. You may want to go back and see some of the prior trainings to get up to speed, to understand better how the Shelf Corp model works, or how the reseller model works, or how QuickCash works. All of those trainings are available on our YouTube channel. All right, Jeff's bringing up a great point, which we didn't talk about. So on the reseller marketing program, let's go ahead and break that out. Reseller marketing program. So again, what does that include? That includes the landing page, which is important, but with the landing page, it also includes the drip campaign. It includes the contract developed for you. You don't have to do anything with e-signature, and that's built into the drip campaign. So really it makes it more of a passive approach. And so then it also allows you to earn overrides, because for us to facilitate overrides, we have to know there has to be a linkage. Who are you getting an override on? So the reseller marketing program is a requirement to pay out the overrides. Otherwise, we don't have the system in place to automatically track who gets the override. So the reseller marketing program, it's $999.99, but you get half. So in other words, as you're building your sales organization, each rep will pay for the reseller marketing program if they want it. Now, they don't have to have it, right? We said you can become a reseller down here with no cost. But if they want the reseller marketing program that includes all the technology and tools and the automation, there is a fee. They will pay you the $9.99. You keep half, send us half, and then we implement, and then they'll be linked into your organization. So essentially, you're getting paid $500 for each person on your sales team. If you don't want to do it this way, you don't have to do it this way. You can just become a reseller for free, and you can set up your own tools and resources, and you can pay out of your portion your reps. And so then it would be zero to you, zero to them. That's fine. But we can't afford to lose money on each of you. So if you want us to build the infrastructure, the landing page, the drip campaign, the e-signature, and so forth, then there is a cost. The cost is essentially $1,000, but you get half. So it's a revenue producer for you. Hopefully that helps and that makes sense. Okay, so Jeff, we answered Jeff's question. And let's see. Rachel's asking about the Shelf Corporation. Well, and maybe she typed this before I went through it. So with the Shelf Corporation, we're delivering the 100,000 in 24 hours. We need 7 days, what we say, a week here to get all the paperwork over. And then, I mean, theoretically, we could apply for funding immediately afterwards. But let's do this just for Rachel's benefit. Two distinct process. Oh no, let's say steps. So first, if a business owner wants business funding, they need to have a fundable business. And we've covered this ad nauseum, right? So first need a fundable business. And the way that you and I propose to do that is to provide them a fundable shelf corp. So that's step one. Until they have that, there is no funding, right? Can we just skip step one? Well, if they already have a fundable business, but hardly anyone does. So then the second step is the funding process. So my point in bringing this to your attention is just we need to approach it in two steps. And this goes back to Rachel's question. So we have great clarity of how long this takes. 100,000 to them in 24 hours, all the paperwork. So it's their shelf corp in a week, and then we can go to funding right afterwards. But we don't go to funding. So this could start. So I guess we'll answer a question. This takes 7 days to fulfill. And then this starts on day 8, right? Because we need to have this done, before we go to this. If the client already has a fundable business, then we can skip number 1 altogether and just go into funding, but that's rarely the case. That's the problem that you and I solve. All right, Samuel asks, is there a contract to start recruiting the sales team? So if you're going to build a sales team, first you got to decide, do you want to run them through our system or your own? If you're running them through your own, then we're ignorant. We don't even know who your sales reps are. We don't need to know because they're under your umbrella. You're managing them, you're paying them, you're supporting them. And what we're proposing here is if you want us to provide them the infrastructure and you get the overrides, then you're going to go ahead and collect that 1,000 from them. You're going to keep half, you send us the other half, and then we're going to fulfill this. So the trigger is real simple. Have you collected the 1,000? Now, could you discount it? Could you say, oh, they're going to be my sales rep, so I don't want to charge them anything? Sure. then you could just pay the 500 for them if you want. And I know a number of you are wanting to do that, but we have to cover our cost. We can't lose money on each package. So we need at least 500 to cover our cost of the package. You could charge them the normal amount. So if you're going to go out and build a sales team, either charge them $9.99 or at least 500 unless you're picking up the tab. Send us our half, and then we're off and going. But yes, we can get you the reseller marketing program agreement, so you have that, Samuel, for your clients or for your sales team. All right, well, we tried to end early, and we're not very early today, but this lets us know what we need to do with clients that have unique funding requests. It starts the same. Don't treat them different. Don't get bogged down in all the intricate details. If they don't have a fundable business, they need a fundable business. Drive them through your landing page if you're using it, or get them under contract, no upfront cost. Let's go deliver the shelf corp as promised. Then we'll work with them to make the edits necessary for the larger amount. So it's going to be split into step 1 and step 2. Overall, the program is in 2 steps. We must have a fundable business. If we don't have a fundable business, there is no funding. So we need to get them a shelf corp, and then we can go into the funding process. Lastly, we again reiterated, this is a great opportunity with this very rich override concept. I don't think that you'll find probably anywhere else where the overrides are a match for what the rep makes, because normally reps make more because they're the ones going out and doing the work. And this revised model, you make the same as they make, doesn't come out of their pocket. If you need help, you can give Madison a call, 903-352-3390, and we'll see you back on Monday morning. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.